one more, Scott.
Without voice, it would be like way boring.
I agree. Without voice, it would be like way boring, huh? It's like this. It's like, you know, if you're talking on the phone to a friend and you're just chatting away, voice is like you're chatting away on paper. If you were talking to a friend and the conversation sounded like this, I really like to swim. Swimming is fun. The pool is big. I have been swimming 3 times. Let's go swimming. Is that what your conversation sounds like with a friend?
No.
Would your conversation sound something like this, maybe? Have you been to the new swimming pool? It has 4 slides, diving boards, water volleyball. I especially like the big tube slide. It points up at the end so you come shooting out like a cannonball and fly through the air. Let's go.
Yeah.
Does that sound a little more like a person?
Yeah.
It has a little more voice. Huh? Word choice helps out too, doesn't it? But this piece, this conversation definitely has more personality, more voice, huh? Voice is like what separates what's read and what's not read. If you had to read a whole story that sounded like that, would you want to read it?
No.
Would you maybe want to read something that sounds a little more like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you think voice is pretty important with what we write?
Yeah.
I wonder how authors use voice. I'm thinking about some of my favorite characters that have voice. It's like you could hear them talking and they have personality. And so I pulled a few books. What about the BFG? Do you know this character's voice? How would you describe this character's voice, Josh?
He has...
What about the character in Mr. Tuckett? We've just finished this whole series. We love Mr. Tuckett. Does this character have voice? Yes. Personality in all his stories? How would you describe this character's voice? Caitlin?
I describe him as kind of lonely and...
Yeah, she's a very excited, enthusiastic person, huh? How would you describe it? And I'm going to write some different words down that describe voice or characters' voice in stories. Trevor?
Hatchet.
Hatchet. Gary Paulson. How's the character in Hatchet? What kind of voice does he have?
In the beginning, they're a little adventurous, and at the end, he's getting kind of lonely.
All right, so you could have an adventurous voice.
Her voice, I can picture like Western, like a hillbilly kind of.
Oh, personalities coming through like crazy in that then, huh? How would you describe the caterpillar? The poem says, she eats 8 leaves at least to fill her, which leaves her like a fat.
Where they know what they're doing, they're saying that it's true.
Oh, they're very organized and they're very, okay, they know exactly where they're going. Okay, last one. This is the inch one. I inch, I arch, I march along. I'm just a pinch, a mere inch long. I stroll and stick. Okay, does that tell a little bit about his personality too? Okay, this is what I'd like you to try to do today in your seats. I'm going to put a voice cloud up on the front board. I want you to go back to your story, and I want you to reread it. I want you to see if you can find voice in your story. If you can find, even if you could even name it, if you could say, this character has voice, he sounds hillbilly. Or this character has voice, he sounds sad. Or, look through and see if you have any emotion in your story, or see if you have any voice in your story. And if you can find some voice, and if you can give it a name, put your name up on the board, and we'll share that at the end. Caitlin? Megan?
Author circle.
Sean?
Copy.
Teresa?
Author circle.
Scott?